It's been really stressful to the point where I'm like, how can I get the help to move?
Help may soon be coming.
We are seeing a pretty quick turnaround with our nonprofits processing applications.
Local governments are finally getting around to distributing millions in federal funding, providing relief to those struggling to get by.
It'll definitely take some weight up off my chest.
Arapahoe County Sheriff is at the center of an investigation after an incident at a bar. Tonight, new details into what happened.
Plus, a Colorado mother wants answers from the state after her son is disqualified from a high school swim meet.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Jacqueline Allen. When an eviction moratorium was shot down by the Supreme Court last week, it put thousands of Coloradans on edge, wondering how they would get by.
Now, help could soon be on the way, however. Denver7's Gary Brode explains how millions of dollars in federal assistance could finally be spent.
For Kashaya, Canada, it's almost moving day.
Currently, I live in Arapahoe County, and I'm moving back to Denver County.
While her first month's rent is already paid, she's still short.
Definitely needed help getting my deposit.
In fact, tens of thousands of Coloradans find themselves in a similar situation.
How am I going to get help? It puts you in a what am I going to do type of situation.
There's been millions in federal funding set aside for those struggling to make rent during the pandemic. The problem is, most of that money hasn't been given out.
We can use these funds to really make sure that households remain stable in their homes or are able to get access to new homes if they need.
On Monday, Denver City Council gave final approval on a partnership with local nonprofits to get that money in the hands of people who need it faster.
Felt like a partnership to distribute the funds would be the best process for residents so that they're not having to try to pick where do I go for a certain application.
Denver has $49 million to hand out. You heard that right, $49 million.
Folks can get up to 15 months of assistance, including arrears or future rent. Also can help with relocation assistance.
Oh, it'll be wonderful. Like, it'll definitely take some weight up off my chest, you know, to where now I can go and I can focus on other things that I can get done.
Melissa Toddy with Housing Stability says the rental assistance could be in a struggling renter's account within 2 weeks of applying.
We couldn't do this work without our local nonprofits. They're the ones who are working with residents and working with landlords to distribute these funds.
Bottom line, if you've applied before with no luck, apply again. The money is still there. In Denver, Gary Brode, Denver7.
And distributing rental assistance funds is not just a problem for local governments. The state is having a hard time distributing funds as well. Colorado received $444 million from the federal government. Now, since the process to distribute that money is so cumbersome, only $33 million of that has actually been handed out.
And just last week, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the federal eviction moratorium. But you might want to know that there are still some protections and some help available for Coloradans specifically. Governor Polis has an executive order in place that protects any tenant from applying for rental assistance from eviction for 30 days. That order expires, however, Saturday, September 4th. The governor says he will consider extending if there is a backlog. And to give you a better understanding of the eviction process, it could take 3 months or so in Colorado from start to finish. Now, there is legal assistance available to help you navigate this process.
Financial assistance out there for people to tap into. Legal assistance if people need to understand the notices they're receiving or need to learn more about how the eviction process may impact people. And there will be more and more tenant-landlord mediation services coming available as well.
So if you or someone you know needs help, here are 2 places to start. ColoradoHousingConnects.org. They can help with resources. And you can also call 211 for help with rent, with mortgage, utility, and other assistance.
To make matters worse for Coloradans struggling to get by, federal unemployment benefits come to an end Saturday in our state. 116,000 Coloradans are set to lose that extra $300 federal benefit this weekend. 87,000 of those people are set to lose all unemployment benefits. We have a full breakdown of who will lose out on benefits and resources that could help you find a job. Just visit thedenverchannel.com for help.
Arapahoe County Sheriff Tyler Brown is under investigation for an incident with another person at a Greenwood Village restaurant and bowling alley. Greenwood Village Police are currently leading the investigation into Brown. Brown and Greenwood Village Police confirm this incident happened at Pindustry. Details, though, have not been confirmed. Sheriff Brown released a statement saying in part, quote, "I have not been made aware of the details of the allegations against me. I have fully cooperated with the police and look forward to commenting on the situation at a later date when appropriate." Sheriff Brown will remain on duty while this investigation continues.
A Colorado Springs mother is demanding answers from the Colorado High School Activities Association after her son was disqualified from a swim meet over his glucose monitor. Denver7's Megan Lopez spoke with the family and their attorney about what they want to see done.
It takes determination to be a swimmer. A lot of time and a lot of effort. The mother of 16-year-old Ethan Orr knows that better than most.
Swimming places such demands on your body that it's very challenging to control your blood sugar when you're working that hard.
Along with all the normal swim challenges, Ethan has type 1 diabetes. Every minute of every day, he wears a glucose monitor, even in the pool.
It basically slows him down and puts him at a disadvantage.
But that didn't stop him from making it to the state championships in June. He already competed in 2 events that day when a CHSA referee approached him before the final relay race to ask him about the monitor and the tape holding it on.
The referee asked him about what was on his arm. Ethan explained it. Ethan was given the choice to remove it from his arm or not to compete in that event.
He didn't have a doctor's note and his team didn't have time to replace him, so they were disqualified. Now his mother Amanda wants answers.
I've never been more angry in my life than to see my son ripped out of that situation, his self-confidence destroyed by an accusation of cheating.
I cannot imagine for the life of me how a glucose monitor could give him a competitive advantage. It's not a rocket booster, it's a glucose monitor.
Civil rights attorney Igor Rakin is now working with the family. This week, he filed complaints with CHSA and the Department of Justice over this incident.
We see CHSA as what's known as a public accommodation under the law. And a public accommodation is not allowed to discriminate against people with disabilities, such as Ethan.
Rakin says CHSA doesn't have enough state oversight, so he wants the DOJ to force it to change.
Is infuriating when an agency like CHSA is more focused on denying kids with disabilities the right to participate than it is in ensuring that they have an inclusive environment.
For Ethan and his family, this is just another obstacle for him to overcome to be able to swim.
It's been extremely painful for the entire family, and Ethan has had to work hard to build back up his confidence and his belief that this system can be fair.
Megan Lopez, Denver7.
And we have reached out to CHSA for a statement on this lawsuit. We have not received a response from them yet.
Beta nightclubs in some hot water with the city of Denver. As first reported by our news partner, the Denver Post, the city is moving forward with plans to revoke that nightclub's licenses. Beta is located at 19th and Blake in downtown Denver. According to an administrative order issued by Denver's Department of Excise and Licensing, Beta hired unlicensed security guards, failed to keep people from bringing weapons in, and failed to control crowds inside. The department ordered Beta's owner to appear at an October 18th hearing to prove why they should not revoke their license. The club will remain open until a final order is issued or until a settlement is reached.
And people are protesting at the state capitol right now to protect wild horses being rounded up 250 miles away. Over the next 2 weeks, the Bureau of Land Management officials will round up more than 700 wild horses by helicopter in the San Wash Basin. This is in northwestern Colorado, and that equates to about 80% of the wild horse population there. The BLM says there are too many horses in the area, and it is putting a strain on natural resources. Governor Polis says he met with Interior Secretary Deb Haaland in person and has sent her letters to come up with alternate approaches to wild horse management. These horses will be moved to Canyon City in the next couple of weeks, where they will then be put up for adoption. We'll have more on this story for you tonight on Denver7 News at 10.
The community itself would like to have the original design back on the building itself.
Once a staple of Denver's Five Points neighborhood,
we used to have parties and things like that in there, and that was a beautiful place.
This music venue has a new look.
They need to put that back.
Now the community is doing its part to preserve its history.
We want to claim as much originality in this area as we possibly can.
We hit the mid-90s again today, but a storm will bring cooler and wetter weather starting tomorrow.
It's been
Funding providing relief to those struggling to get by.
It'll definitely take some weight up off my chest.
Arapahoe County Sheriff is at the center of an investigation after an incident at a bar. Tonight, new details into what happened.
A Colorado mother wants answers from the state after her son is disqualified from a high school swim meet.